Just do a few tests if you couldn't hear you. Good.
Antara probably negate the resolution resolved that the United States federal government should report Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. Our framework is structural violence. Leader human rights that structural violence refers to a form of violence that enforcing structures harm people by preventing them from meeting their basic needs. It is therefore the most lethal form of violence causing access to death. Structural crime these days that structural violence perpetuates health in the body and contributes to higher mortality rates. Solving structural violence is crucial in status quo we see now more than ever. Solving structural violence leads to less conflict in future generations that should be converted into them. Now some quick definitions before we begin. Firstly, Section 230, which is a law that provides immunity for armed services with respect to third-party companies generated by users. Another important definition, repeal, which is a complete removal. This is important because it means that by any time we prove that Section 230 is beneficial, you will vote on it. So the repeal is written for everything, including methods. Starting on these, our first intention is protection of peace. The status quo is a positive change on the minds of people on controversial people. This new research has been conducted a week. Studies that show 14 people Americans change their minds on controversial topics that should be allowed in police brutality. It is critical that we should proceed this change because minorities are getting increased opportunities which leads to harm and other society. As Patel 13 services by states saying, new research provides evidence that diversity amongst innovation and diversity. Guiding countries state Section 230 promotes free speech where everything is justice to platforms to limit what we can do or harm. Under Section 230, platforms may not be held liable or content posted by users. Without this protection, freedom of speech such as communication sellers find you. Cartels don't just use social media to help. Francisco 21 states that drug traffickers and gangs are lively social media users across America. Drug cartel bosses use mainstream social media and popular messaging apps to shore up power and influence, recruit, sell drugs, and contraband. Section 230 facilitates this. Congress 24 says that Section 230 grants complete immunity regardless of whether the challenge speech is unlawful. Fentanyl deaths are on the rise, so we must act now. According to the NIDA, deaths involving fentanyl continue to rise with 73,838 overdose deaths reported in 2022. Eliminating Section 230 can help to reduce drug trafficking as well as lowering genocide rates. Therefore, we urge you to vote for us.
Hi, sorry. If you need to have a side conversation or if you need to urgently take a call or something, please do it outside. I just can't hear our opponents. So if you need to talk, after you need to talk, or you need to take a call, please do outside. Otherwise, please keep the volume to the so the judges can hear. Thank you.
purpose and intention. Okay, so off the top roadmap, ask, framework, way. Let's start on our opponent's first contention about crimes against humanity. They talk about extremists and how, so Section 230 can promote extremists, but you can turn this argument because any benefits created by repealing Section 230 don't outweigh harms. Yes, extremists do recruit on social media, but moderation and censorship worsens the problem. European 20 writes that content moderation systems can lead to the deletion of vital information systems. These information systems are important to prevent future risks and to prevent governments from doing whatever they want. And the Syrian archives which has Saber 24 rights, curates visual documentation of human rights violations and other crimes committed during the conflict in Syria, and they say that thousands of videos of war atrocities and extremist stuff was removed from YouTube every year. Content that depicts human rights violations has been tagged as terrorism and extremism by algorithms and are deleted from other sites. The main point of this is that moderation makes mistakes. So all crimes against humanity can't fully be stopped because of Section 230 anyways. And many instances of legitimate speech are wrongly categorized as extremism and they're taken down. Also, they don't provide a warrant in their first contention about Section 230 benefiting genocides and stuff. And then most of their evidence is based on countries outside of the U.S. But they fail to recognize that we're debating about the U.S. right now because we see a lot of their cards and stuff are from countries like Ethiopia and stuff. And then on their second contention about drug abuse, they say that by repealing Section 230 we can prevent drugs. But first of all, drugs are illegal and Section 230 doesn't protect illegal activity. And there's still going to be recommendation algorithms, so no matter what, Section 230 can get rid of drugs and as big as they talk about. Now moving on to framework, Judge, you should vote for structural violence for in this round because because our opponent argues that utilitarianism can benefit future generations, but we're telling you that not only if we solve for structural violence right now can we benefit the status quo, but we can also benefit future generations. And then we also tell you that that structural violence outweighs on probabilities for our impacts, and I'll get to that in a second, and time frame because structural violence is currently happening right now. We're seeing the effects of structural violence in the status quo. Now let's see how our impacts tie into structural violence. On our first impact about people, we talk about minorities who won't be able to get their freedom of speech and won't be able to promote themselves, and this is a perfect example of structural violence because it shows like minorities are being like they're being underemployed and stuff, and this leads to social injustice. And on our second impact about like the economy and poverty, we're telling you that since the majority of small businesses are owned by minorities, when we repeal like Section 230, the minorities are going to face poverty and stuff, and this is like really bad because it's affecting structural violence. And then now on to weighing, finish. We're telling you that we outweigh on time frame because currently we are seeing the effects of like small businesses doing good on our in status quo, but repealing Section 230, we provide like links in our cards about how the time frame of that will like specifically impact the status quo and the probability of Section 230 impacting the economy and like all our other impacts is extremely high because we provide cards as to like prove this to you, whereas our opponents' impact like less probable and like the time frame of their impact is going to take a while because people don't die immediately after they like take in drugs. So, yeah.
The clock roadmap is going to be framework, neg, aff, way. So on framework, ours fits structural violence more because genocide is inherently an effect of racism, and our case involves that hate speech is spread online, which can lead to structural violence. On top of what they said about our case, they said that extremists, we don't have a good probability for that extremists will. They don't have a good probability that moderation will increase for extremists, but we can see that currently the companies don't take enough accountability and therefore don't have enough an incentive to increase moderation, so it's lower than is possible. And while they said that genocide that content is already regulated on social media sites, it's not regulated enough because they don't have an incentive, which repealing Section 230 would provide. They also said that our argument is only based on the United States, but since Facebook is a United States company, that our argument isn't based on the United States, but since Facebook is a United States-based company, it would affect more areas around the world, and genocide or terrorism could happen in the United States due to social media-related problems. They said that because drugs are illegal, they are already taken down by algorithms. But despite this, drugs still persist on social media and cartels still are able to use them because moderation isn't good enough because companies don't have enough of an incentive. They also said that structural violence, back to framework, they said that structural violence has effects now and in the future, but so does Utah. Onto their case, they did not provide a card that includes direct causality between social media and between repealing Section 230 and social media, like how minority voices would be suppressed. And additionally, it said that like many protests couldn't happen without social media, but the civil rights movement and women's suffrage occurred before social media even existed, proving that it can exist without. Additionally, in 1995, according to Person Porn, Computer organized day of demonstrations against Contract with America, the campaign manifesto from which House Republicans built their legislative agenda, occurred. And this was before 1996, when Section 230 was passed, so even without it, protests can still be organized. And on their argument for free speech online existed before Section 230, and was also possible. It's also possible through newspapers and other means. They also said that 77% of small businesses use social media for things like marketing, but this isn't necessarily going to be taken down, as many marketing uses are like advertisements, which isn't user-generated content and is already looked at by social media companies, and thus wouldn't be taken down unless it is like offensive, which most ads would probably not be. They also said that like many deaths would happen from recessions, but recessions happen anyways despite Section 230 being up. And so this is a non-unique argument. Onto weighing, our magnitude is bigger because it affects like the entire world, because Facebook can facilitate genocide all over multiple regions. And in terms of time frame, we outweigh because for their second contention about small businesses, lawsuits take a long time to occur through court because it's like a court clock. So their impact would happen in like years, or ours can happen at any time, because hate speech towards any ethnic group can boil over very long.
Okay, so in your rebuttal, you guys say that like 77, like in our car we say that 77% of small businesses use social media, and you say that they won't all be taken down. But do you agree that if Section 230 is repealed, there's going to be a lot of moderation? Because both of your arguments are based on that.
We agree that there will be more moderation, but this moderation is for offensive or criminal content, most of which small businesses don't use unless the small business you're talking about is like a cartel.
It's not small businesses who are using the bad content. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that like the companies can like be taken or like sued for illicit content on their website. So like the small businesses don't put their content out, but the users, because it's a user-generated content. Okay, you have a question?
So do you have like evidence that, like besides just the card, like you look at direct connection between how like social media is the only way protests can be organized?
Do you want to call it? Because we just like decide it.
You can do the card if it does provide the exact connection.
Like that Section 230 being repealed was law.
That social media is like the only way that protests can be organized.
We're telling you that the protest, it's not like a movement, it's like Black Lives Matter and Me Too. We're telling you that social media is the main way they're organized. And if that were applicable, then it should be applicable to your argument too, right? Because like not all drugs are going to be on social media. Like drugs are, like social media is the only way drugs are like spread out.
Yeah, but since the cartels are already shifted to the internet, also like their infrastructure would be based around.
Yeah, so the movements are also mostly on social media right now. Can I take a question? Okay, so in like the beginning of your rebuttal, right, you say that yours fits, that your like impact fit structural violence matters, but then later on in your rebuttal, you talk about mutual framework. So can you explain which framework you're going for?
Our argument fits both frameworks.
Okay. Do you have a question you want to take? Okay. So then, I guess I'll take another one. So you guys say that like recessions happen regardless of like section 230, right? So then wouldn't you agree that your impact will happen regardless of section 230?
Facebook was identified by the UN as the main cause of the genocide.
But your other impact is like not just, right?
For drugs?
And I say that there's mass deaths over
This is